is our official welcome to the first of the hopefully many parent technology training sessions for the school year. We're going to go ahead and do some introductions, and then we'll have you guys introduce yourselves to us. Let us know sort of your computer experience, the age of your children at Kemper, and we'll kind of go from there. So I'm Mary Trent. I'm the Technology Integration Specialist. I've been doing this for way too long, but I enjoy it very much, and one of my favorite things is training, so I'm really excited to be here tonight. And we are thrilled. Nancy, I'll let you introduce yourself, and then we'll introduce our fabulous technology team too.
Nancy Peterman. I teach at the middle school and high school in business and technology. I assist Mary in integration and training, and I also assist Bill Schrod in the hardware end of things. So then these three great gentlemen introduce themselves.
I'm Troy Schulte, a student, and we got roped into this. It was voluntary, but yes, we'll be helping.
Michael Lux, I'm the tech intern. I've been doing RT club and robotics and whatnot, and been kind of working at this while. I'm planning to go into a career in it.
I'm Seth Galing. I actually did get roped into this.
Not only are they here to assist you, but they're going to be doing some of the presenting tonight as well. So they have a wealth of information and knowledge on technology, and so we might as well tap into them, right, and use them as much as we possibly can. So without further ado then, we're going to start with introductions from you folks, and we'll just kind of start right over here and go around the room.
I'm Chris Allen. I know how to run the internet, email, and I think I'm not afraid to delve into something to see how it works. I have a junior, a freshman, and a fifth grader in the school, so.
Awesome. Okay.
I'm John Brumholz, and my experience with computers, I'm not very good at it all, so these gentlemen can help me out quite a bit.
Awesome.
I have a fifth grader, a third grader, a second grader, and a first grader.
Very good. You got your hands full, don't you?
This is like a night out.
I'm Joni.
And actually, there is two other kids we have at our home that are 10-year-old and a 1-year-old that's in foster care.
There you go. I was a foster parent too until I adopted my two 10-year-olds ago.
I'm Joni Schulte, and I'm okay on computers. I just don't know anything about Google because I never had a Google account. And I have a freshman, 7th grader, 5th grader, and a first grader. I want him older.
Thanks.
Carla Stork, and I can navigate also around a computer pretty well. I'm not familiar with Google because same thing as Joni, I don't really have a use for it.
Okay.
I have a 4th grader and a 2nd grader.
Great.
I am Jody Wheeland, and I have a 5th grader, a 4th grader, and a 1st grader, and I just thought I'd like to know more about Google.
Okay, great.
Randy Pyle, 5th grader and 2nd grader, and I work at Home Shield, and I'm on the computer all the time, but at home I really don't ever know. So that's about it.
My name is Brad Nichols. I've got a junior at Kemper this year. I'm just here to understand more about Google and the benefits that you can get using Google. So glad to be here.
Vicki Roder. We've got a junior, 8th grader, 6th grader, and 2nd grader here at Kemper. Kids are on Google all the time. It's not something I'm very fluent in at all. So I'm used to the old Microsoft Office. Where I keep asking, did you save that? We don't need to save that. So yeah, this will be good. And just even the app side of it, knowing some parental control and things like that and stuff. So
Yes. Yeah, we're going to touch on all of that, plus some troubleshooting things too, just some simple troubleshooting things that we're finding, as students bring their devices in and things, some things that we're seeing that we can maybe help with and stuff, so, and things at home too. So, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Troy, who is going to talk to us about Google.
I will interject even before he takes over. It's going to be very informal. So
Yes.
if you just want to interrupt at the time that you have a question, that's awesome. We're more than willing to do that. Or if you don't want to interrupt what they're saying, just Mary and I are going to float around, and the guys will too if they're not presenting. So just grab their attention, and we'll help in any way we can. So.
so we're starting off tonight with Google Basics here, and so we'll walk you through some of the just basic functions of it, some benefits of it, and just general navigation of Google here. All right. I think I did break it. All right.
Took too many things apart.
If I click the slide. Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay.
So choosing your browser. Most people think of, if you're on Windows, that the E there, that's your way to get to the internet. There are other options though. And so they call this the browser. And so if you're on Mac, you usually see this. This is Safari. But Google makes a browser and they call it Chrome. That's the one in the left here. And that's the one that we kind of prefer when dealing with Google, because since it's the maker of it, it really works best with it, and there really aren't any issues with it, or less issues. This is Firefox. That's also a good one, and that's Opera. These three here are good alternatives if you need it. Internet Explorer actually has some issues sometimes, so we don't recommend it, but it still would work if you don't have Chrome or another browser on hand. So just general, just a quick way of installing Chrome. You can either go to that address in any other browser, or you can Google, just go into any search engine and type in Google Chrome. You can find a link, and it'll bring you to this web page. From here you can click the blue button in there that says download Chrome. A pop-up box will appear, and you want to accept and install. Now, after this, I did do this in Chrome, so Chrome shows up the downloads in the bottom here, but other browsers, usually it's hidden in some type of menu up in the top right. There may be a gear, I think in Internet Explorer, you click that, box will pop up and it'll say downloads, and so you want to find where that has downloaded Chrome to. After that, you'll click it, and it'll ask you if you want to run it and save this file. You'll click yes to that. It's just asking you, do you want this to be installed? And so what Chrome will do then is it'll pop up with this box here, and it'll say downloading and installing. After that, you're all done. And so from then on, the icon will appear somewhere on your computer, either on your main screen, or if you click the start menu in the bottom left on Windows, it should be in there.
We did have the question earlier too, can you download Chrome on your iPad or your iPhone? Yes, you can. And so, and that works on the iPads. And we kind of recommend that too, because we found that if kids are bringing their iPads to school and trying to use the Google apps, they're kind of struggle with it, because Safari doesn't always play nice with Google as well. So if they have an iPad, Google's going to work much better if they download the Chrome app too, and go through that to get on Google.
The Chrome will work a lot faster.
Yes, it does. Yep.
And Google, for at least for Android, and I think for Apple devices too, in the app stores, they do offer services for Google Drive and Gmail and some of their other services. So if you're looking for an app directly for them, that is a way to get these two. All right.
Is that Google Plus? Is that what that is?
Google Plus is kind of like Google's version of Facebook.
Oh, okay.
But they
Good
have.
question. A lot of people don't know what Google Plus is.
They keep saying it, you
Yeah.
know, and they're like, I wanna download Google Plus.
They don't need to.
It's not required. It's not required.
Okay.
It's nice, some people use Google Plus and they create hangouts from that. So like if you have Google Plus, you can have people in circles. You create circles of communities. And then in those circles too, you can invite people to do a Google Hangout. Have you heard of that too? A Google Hangout is like a virtual meeting that you can have up to 9, I believe, participants join. And so it's like, it's kind of like Skype or that kind of thing, but you can have up to 9 people.
It also gives you a lot of different communities,
Mhm.
so if you have a special interest, you can find a community on that special interest, and then have a discussion with those people that are in that same interest group. So there are, I mean, it's not a requirement by any means, but there are a lot of other features.
Alright, so logging into Google here. Alright, so in any of the browsers, if you go to just Google's normal homepage, up in the top right hand corner you will see the sign in button. So after clicking this, if this is your first time logging in on that browser, it'll just ask you simply for your email and password. You put in those and then sign in, and it'll sign you into your Google. if other people have been on that browser and signed out, sometimes they'll pop up like this. I have my personal account and then my school account there. And if yours doesn't show up, you simply just click add account, and then it'll ask you for your email and password again, and then you sign in. And so after doing that, you will be signed into Google services. From here on, an easy way to navigate between Google Documents, which is like all of your Microsoft Office, your documents and presentations and all those. You can get from there, you can get to your Gmail, you can get to a Google Calendar, you can get between them all simply and pretty easily by using those 9 dots arranged in a square. So normally it appears in the top right hand corner in that type of arrangement, and here's an example of it in Google Docs.
If I can interrupt you for a minute, do you want to look at your screen and see if you can also locate it on, because I think we have everybody logged in,
Yeah.
just so you can see what he's referring
The
to
9
on your
dots in the
own,
corner. Yeah.
okay?
You can go ahead and click it too, it won't take you a while.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can click it and see what comes down.
Because that's what he's going to address next.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So if you click those 9 dots, it'll make a little pop-up here. And that's, this is what it'll show. Some of the icons will change, but these are some of the main services that Google provides. Some of you have YouTube there, Maps, Google Maps, the Play Store. But some of the big ones here are Gmail and Google Drive. So Gmail is your mail, Documents is like all of your Microsoft Office packages, from making documents to presentations to spreadsheets. And so yeah, that is an easy way to do it. And oftentimes when you click that, it will bring you to the Google service, but it will keep you signed in. So you do not need to keep putting in your email and password every time. So once you sign in, it should keep you logged in as you go between the services. Alright, and so that triangle, that is Google Drive. And so we'll be creating a document here. So if you guys want to click that, you guys should be in Google Drive. Is everyone there?
Drive, right there. Yes.
Alright. Alright, from here, if you're in Google Drive, alright.
Is that the right screen? Oh, it is, okay, okay.
So while you're in Google Drive, I have documents in there, so that's what you're seeing here, is stuff I've already made. But towards the top left, you'll see a red box. Sometimes it's labeled new, sometimes it's labeled create, but you want to click that box. And then a pop-up will appear giving you options on what you want to make. And so we're going to make a Google Docs here. Click on that.
Yeah.
There's not too much of a difference, it's just a little bit different layout.
And so it should pop up with a blank document here with nothing on it. And to the top left, you'll see untitled document. If you click that, that's where you'll change the name of that document. It'll pop up with a box.
Similar to a file name, if you're accustomed to saving a word.
You kind of
Similar to a file
So
name.
there you can put in the name of any document. So if you just want to name it such something like, I don't know what you want to call it. Just anything just for the test of it. Yeah, you can just put test, you can put your name in, just anything to help distinguish it from any other documents you may create.
Now it comes up and it's asking, so you can give it a name.
Something.
You can give it like a name like parent test or whatever, playing something. You can type it there, you try
And then
It'll be named test.
And then you just simply click OK afterwards, and it will rename that document. Google
You can always
Drive,
change the name again.
Google Documents save automatically, so as you are working on it, it is always saving. So if you were to accidentally exit out of it, it would save those changes on the fly. You do not need, there is no save button. It will say,
Just to the right
sometimes it'll say all saves all changes are saved in Drive.
Just
Right
after
here.
the tabs.
Yeah, you can see it right now at the top of your, right above, like the B and the
All
A,
changes,
down a little bit lower.
saves are changed.
Right here, all changes saved in Drive.
Along that same line, if for some reason Google is having trouble,
Yes.
it will tell you, not saved or error or
Right.
loading
We're
or
last
right in there.
saved at this time.
And so this is all on the internet, so an internet connection is pretty much required to work on these, but that also works because if you don't have your computer on hand, you can go to another person's computer, sign in with your Google, and then get to that same document. It is not stuck on that computer.
And trade between like tablets and phones. You can log on to the same document.
Good point, guys.
Alright, so next, on the top of, I don't have it here, but on the top you'll see My Drive on the tabs in your browser.
So it says My Drive.
Click back
That's
there
where
to
it's
get, click back
here
there
we
to get
go.
to your Google Drive.
Good. The tab at the top? Okay. Right, yeah, right there. Good.
Alright, so now you're back to your Google Drive where all your documents are. We're going to create a folder in here. So you'll click your same New or Create button in the top left, and you'll select Folder this time.
Yep, good.
And so then it'll ask you to name it right away.
So I'm gonna give it another name.
And then once you're done with that, click
How do you
Create.
name it?
Oh, there you go.
You can do whatever.
There you go. Now you want that.
That gets confusing when you click it, you're like, oh.
Need this one, and then I hit.
If you're wondering why yours looks a little different, Google went from an old view to a new view. If you want to click the gear and experience
It's
the new
nice
drive.
to use it for work and home. You can have.
It'll just change the
files.
labels.
I have this on.
I guess I'll do that.
Not until the course.
It just changes. Now your folders are listed up top.
Yeah.
As long as you sign.
Maybe documents.
And also, if you have your own account.
Yeah, they changed it midway here. I had some
And
experience for the sake
he's like
of
visual, he's got
simplicity, we
visual
cut that out.
pictures or thumbnails up
Yeah.
there.
So if he wants.
I want to be able to see a lot, so I'm a list
Shares all
type
his homework.
person. Plus, I like the details on
See
the
all his
side
homework
where the
without
new book
having
didn't
you
have the details that I
looking
like.
over his shoulder.
So I just stay with the old version
You're
until they
at
tell me I
work,
have
home,
to switch,
if
which
you
is
want to
getting
see
pretty
his
bad.
homework,
Yeah, it is.
share it to
I'm
you
gonna
and you
jump
can
so they're fine.
look at it.
I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just
Right.
impressive.
Down a little bit.
We're browsing going.
So once you've made that folder, at the top of your drive will pop up. I made this one parent test folder. So it'll pop up at the top of your drive. All of your folders will be listed at the top, and then any documents will be listed below. And so if you want to click that folder, it'll open it up. And you'll know you're in that folder
Click that.
because towards the top left, it'll say parent test folder or whatever you name that folder. And then in front of it, it'll say My Drive. That's saying that in your drive, you are in this folder. So it's telling you where you are.
So now it's
So if you click on your folder,
Click in the folder.
Okay,
click on the browser.
so right now here too, it's showing you that folder,
Double
Google Drive, and John is the
And
folder.
see
So
how
you're
it
in Google Drive,
And then
Your
we'll
John
show
folder, and then it tells
Right
you
now
where
there's
it is. So that's just letting you know that you're
but you
in
can
that
save
folder.
stuff in there.
See, if you're in My Drive test folder up here, it shows you My Drive test folder, so it shows you your drive. If you want to navigate back, just click My Drive.
So I could just click this.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I know.
So you always just click, yep.
So,
Just double
As
click,
an
go back.
example of what I have put in some of my folders,
You can double
this
click
is
it.
one of my
Yep,
classes.
there you go. Then if you wanna
I
go
have
back, just click mark.
documents in there, I
Thank you.
have some pictures, and I have another folder inside that folder. So you can put pretty much anything inside one of these, this just helps for organization. So I have grouped mine mainly into just like classes I have or projects that need to be, there are multiple things that need to be kept in one area. And from in here, you can click new and make any type of document in there. So you can make another folder, you can make other documents, a presentation, any type of spreadsheet. And it's pretty easy to move things into it. So if you have a document in your drive that you want to move it into it, you can either click and drag it onto that folder, or you can right click and say move to, and then it'll pop up the folders and select that. So it's just a way to keep stuff organized.
Can you point out before we leave this too, it's if they click on incoming, then it should be the file that I shared with them, the folder.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you click it
Alright,
twice,
so
inside.
on the left here, you'll see My Drive. those are all of your documents you've made. Incoming here, this used to be called sharing, but now it's called incoming. These are, say, documents or folders or anything else people have made in Google that they're sharing with you. So the big power of Google is being able to work and share everything with other people. So in example documents, you're able to share that with other people, and then everyone's able to work on it at the same time. Even if they're at home and you're at home and the other person's at school or work, everyone's able to work on it at the same time, and everything is saved at the same time.
Now, if I can interject, differences, we can do in upload. Do you
Yep.
want to
Mhm.
cover that, just
Alright.
briefly?
So, yeah, here we go. So there are different types of, back when you make files, you also are able to, say, select file upload or folder upload. So this allows you to save things that aren't Google into Drive. So say you have pictures that you want saved up in there, or say you make a document in Word, but you want to get it, but you don't have a flash drive. You can upload it into your Google Drive, and then you can access it again later from another computer. I have a teacher that she likes her papers done in Google Word or in Microsoft Word, but just for the sake of being able to share it with her and keep it from place to place, I oftentimes upload it up into Google Drive. That way I just have it there and I'm able to get at it.
And it stays in the format. You have the choice. You can leave it in Word and bring it back down in Word, or you can bring it up and convert it. So, I mean, that's one of those features that's nice, that if you're a Word user, it just becomes a storage and doesn't, you don't have to.
In order to manipulate it or make changes, so you have to convert it.
You do.
Well, yeah, or
Or
download.
download it again
Okay.
to Word.
I
And
use,
I think in Google Drive, if you save it, if you upload it as Word, you can look at it. I just don't think you're able to edit it.
Right, it's only,
So you can still look at it while it's in Word.
like I'm in a digital design class and I want to take a picture and put it on my phone today. And it was just easiest for me to put it on the Drive and then go on Drive on my phone. And I could save it straight from there instead of having to, I guess it's the same as emailing it to yourself, but it's just quick.
I've done the same thing in opposite. You take a picture with your phone and I need to use it for a presentation or something. Instead of having to try to plug my phone in or pull a memory card out, I just upload it to Google Drive, and then on a computer where I need it, I just go to my Drive and save it and do whatever I need with it.
So when you click on that, does it bring up the list of, does it navigate to those sites so you can get to your documents?
Yeah, when you click the upload like a file, if you click on upload file, what comes up defaulted usually, like if you're on a Windows machine, it'll come up like My Documents.
Okay.
And you can navigate through
Okay.
there, it's saying, where on your computer
Okay.
do you want me to upload something? So then you go navigate and find it,
Okay.
click on it, and it brings
So
it
we'll
up.
upload it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Now also, if you click on that incoming folder that you see on the left there, if you click on that, I've shared tonight's presentations with you, as well as the agenda. And so that's for you, feel free to share that out with other folks too, because you're going to learn how to share, so you can take that folder and you can share it with somebody as well. And this will be on the Kemper website too, along with video and the screencast. We're doing a screencast tonight too. So what's on his screen, we're videotaping that too. Okay? And so all of that will be on the Kemper website too for you to check out later. I might try and stick the videos in those folders too.
Yeah.
I'll do that too.
For that.
Yeah, I'll stick these videos in your folders too, that way it's all in one spot.
Kinda got you off track, sorry.
Yep,
And
okay.
at the bottom left, Google gives you so much space up there, so much space to upload stuff. All the Google documents and presentations do not count. It's anything that's not Google that takes up space. So I would like to think a lot of documents up there, but I've used 1%. It's been less than that. I use barely any of it. It's just I have a few pictures here and there that are up there, and maybe a Word document or two, which those don't take up any space. And
So that's what's using your 1%,
Mhm.
are those documents?
Yep.
Okay.
And if you decided that you're going to use Google to save all your pictures and videos up to, and that's not enough, Google offers where you can pay, I think, a yearly or monthly subscription to get more from it.
And I've used it for several years with students and for just professional use, and I have barely got a gig out of the 30 gig. So it's, I mean, as long as you convert a lot of things, it doesn't add up very fast. But I think now they're starting to switch the Gmails counting for some of the storage. I'll have to check on that, but I read something that it's supposed because it's becoming too common. Yeah, but it takes quite a while, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
So how does this compare to where you're saving your stuff from and the cloud?
This is the cloud. Google is a cloud service. And so everything is saved on Google services and off on their servers. So really the only thing your computer is doing is going out on the internet and getting that back and forth. That makes sense? That
Cloud is
answers
just
your
the,
question?
cloud
You
is
mean
just
like
the
iCloud?
trade name that
Right.
that Apple uses.
A
Okay.
cloud is not just Apple though, a cloud is
Cloud's
just
the whole-
online storage. So there's lots of different types of clouds. There's,
Well, Dropbox.
there's
Yeah, the cloud's in
Dropbox,
it.
there's
Yeah.
Google, there's
It is,
iCloud,
but
there's,
it's really
oh,
hard to
there's
get
some
to.
other ones.
Well, I mean,
too.
even
have a few
be able
others.
to use like Shutterfly and some of those image storage areas, I mean,
Right.
they're technically the cloud too, so it's just
Shoebox
storage.
Okay.
for photo storage.
So
Yeah.
you're just going to a huge storage
Yep.
place in the
Yep.
sky.
Yep.
And really, and that's something that, you know, that's why when we talked about bringing your own device, we're using so much of this cloud stuff, and so much of our software now is all online, that it doesn't really matter anymore about the device, as long as you get online, everything's there. So all of your software's there, your storage is there, so having a computer with a big hard drive, unless you're doing a lot of video editing or photo editing on that desktop or that hard drive, you really don't need something beefy like it used to be. You just need to have something so you can get on the internet and have a fast internet connection, and then you'll be sitting pretty good.
And our next part is sharing, but part of the reason that's what makes Google so nice is since it's all up there, sharing becomes easy. Some of our papers for my English class, we had students in that class correct it, and so it's easy to just I think I copy and pasted it off of a Word document onto Drive or onto a Google document, and then just shared it with a few friends I was going to have help me correct it, and they could sit there and do pretty much all the rest of the stuff that you can do on Microsoft Office. Alright, and so we're going to get to sharing here, which this is how you let other people see your document, edit it if you want to, otherwise just view it or comment. And so, when you're in a document, this is a personal statement, up in the top right hand corner you'll see a blue share button. So if you were to
Let's
find
do
your
this
way...
with your document, I know you don't have words or anything on it, but if
So
you
go back
go to
to
your
your
Word
drive.
document,
Alright,
First
so,
thing I go down the share.
or your,
You wanna head
or
back
just
to
go
my drive on the left?
my drive, because we should have made a document earlier.
Click into your text folder, because that's the
And
new document code.
yeah, just look at your passwords.
Did you just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
Don't click.
What is it,
That's-
can you go there too, to
Oh,
this tab?
yeah, it's open.
Yeah,
Very
that's
good.
nice.
But
So
it's-
that's very good.
It's gonna want you to give it a name up there too.
I think it's
I
like
thought I made one. Yeah, we got one.
It won't let you share until you give it a name. So you already tried to put
Share
share,
up
but
here,
say you
right?
give it a name first. It lets you
Yeah.
know that. So it's good to have it to kind of get in there first, create a name for your document.
well, I think it was, if you go back into your drive,
And you're able to put in
And then
anybody's
share is the
email.
top right hand corner there, so if you click that there, this way. And by the way, click, yeah, click it, okay. This box changed, like 2 days ago.
This is part of an
I know, because I was working in it, and all of a sudden I'm like, what?
Type in their name or
Okay,
their
this just
email.
changed on me.
And then
Well,
I
as long
gotta
as
get
you're
it
inside.
done and everything, I'm like, oh,
candidate
that's,
news
So-
that'll tell you about it. It'll show up in the
you
incoming
share,
folder.
you move the
Show
URL.
you, and then you change it. If you click it, it'll give you the other options.
There you
I'll
go.
talk about that here in just a
Or you
second. I'll
can
show you how, I'll talk about how I use this for like, talk about how to do it, don't really have need for
In
Google.
view is all
I
they
use
can
this
do
like,
is
I
go
put
and
together
see.
for big families every holiday, we sign up for what you're gonna bring for the holiday. I use Google.
He did all this stuff.
I use a spreadsheet.
Go to work, you should be able to sign into Google, to use
Right,
Gmail.
right, and truly, if you click this,
You're
it
signing
says
to Hotmail.
spam filter,
Okay, just a minute.
virus, stuff,
We're all at
stuff.
different spots here,
It's
so
like
I'll
number one and
try,
number two.
get your attention. So
Number one
Troy's
stuff.
gonna walk you through the share one more time. So,
It's
there you go.
Alright, so if you click the share button, it'll bring up this box. This is just a quick box that if you know, kind of know a person's email or like our school account, people's names are tied to an email, so I can start typing in Trent, and it'll pop up with her email. I don't need to know her email. But otherwise, you can put in an email address. I've already shared it to Michael and another friend. But that box will appear. And so if you want, you can click Advanced, and it will bring up some more options. So if you just click the Advanced, and we'll show you how to do some stuff in both. Alright, so sharing the document with someone is as simple as putting in someone's email address. And so this is the advanced view. This is what it used to look like before they changed it yesterday.
Yesterday. We were 9:30 yesterday, it changed, because I was working in Google, and I saved like, sharing like normal, and I went back and shared something else, I'm like, what happened? It just changed on me, and sure enough, so I texted Troy, I'm like, you better change the presentation, because Google just changed right now. And it happens, it does happen, so just have to roll with
But
it.
you can't get into somebody else's if they haven't,
Shared it with you.
okay, so.
Yeah.
Yes, those are settings you can change. You can change, we'll walk you through here, you can open it to anyone, you can open it up to, like, our student accounts are all on the Kemper email. We can let anyone on the Kemper email do it, or you can choose just specific people who we shared it to. And so it's as simple as putting in the email address into the box. But there are some more options here. So if you have shared it to someone or plan on sharing it to someone, there's a box usually to the right of their name that lets you change what that person can do. They can either edit it, comment, or view on it. So if you just click view, they can look at the document but do nothing else. Comment, say a teacher, if they want you to share their paper with them, you can share it to her with just comment, and then she can leave notes about maybe what to change. Or edit, that's full access to the document and changing it. So if you're wanting to collaborate on something, that's usually what you'd put it down as.
And I'll interject here, for those of you that have young kids that are first learning in the 4th and 5th grade, they may come home with that horror story of, I was working and somebody just took my whole sentence out, because they're learning that whole collaboration process. So if they have full editing privileges, all of them are on the same document, they have to learn to be in certain places on the document, or they type right over the top of somebody else's material. And so that's that whole digital citizenship they have to learn.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should sometimes. If you want to go ahead and delete someone else's stuff, you can, but doesn't mean you should. So we teach that a lot too.
And in the document, when it's shared and people are working on it, usually there's a little kind of colored bar showing where they're at in the document. Every person gets a different color, and you can kind of see where people are on there. But, and so moving on here, if you, in the Advanced tab in particular, the first line here, it says specific people can access. If you click the change part there, it will allow you to change how open the document is here. And so this is what pops up. So public, I don't know why you'd ever need that, but that's anyone and anyone can access your document, no matter who or what. Mrs. Trent said she uses this one a lot. Anyone with a link can.
Let me explain that too, like I was talking to the gals over here. I'm the youngest of a large family. We have like holiday gatherings, 3 times a year. And so I create a Google spreadsheet with everyone's name, and then they can fill in what they're gonna bring. And I use this one, anyone with a link can have access, no sign-in required. That means they don't even have to have a Google account for them to get in that spreadsheet and type in bacon, ham, rolls, dessert, whatever they're gonna bring. And it's very nice. And now, however though, if you have competitive siblings like I do, sometimes they decide what someone else should bring, or they delete their own, so you have to police that a little bit and make sure that they don't. But that's one thing that I use on a personal level. Also, like I'll use Google spreadsheet for my address book, because I can't tell you how many times I'm at school or something and I want to send a card out or at home, and where's my address book? This way it's on Google, it's on every device I have then, so I always have my address book with me. So that's something I really like too, that I always use that too. I can also share that with family members, and so we share Google, those spreadsheets with addresses, because when it comes time for Christmas cards, you always have to think about who moved, who unfortunately passed away this year, that kind of thing, and so you can share it. That comes in handy too when I've had nieces that have gotten married. I can just share my address book with them and then it's ready to go. You can do labels right from it and everything. So there's lots of good personal uses with Google too. So we can talk about some of that stuff a little later too if you're interested.
And so then you have these two options, which are anyone in the Kemper system, particularly because I did this on my Kemper school account, can see it, or only people with the link who are in the Kemper school system can see it, or just specific people. So that really locks it down to who can and can't edit it or see it. But that's a way to change how open it is. And so if the person you're wanting to share this with doesn't have a Google account or wouldn't be bothered to try to make a Google account, that would be an easy way to let someone get at it. And that link is, you can either type in their email address if they don't have a Google one, or right up here, if you copy and paste that link into an email, they should be able to get to that document through that link. Alright, so now we're on to CloudPrint. This is kind of interesting and really quite convenient. So, teachers I'm sure hear a lot of, my printer wasn't working when that paper was due that day. And so, this is a way for, oh, is it out? Alright.
We have a few minutes left.
Alright, I think this is the last one.
Okay.
If not, we'll just restart at that. Alright, so this helps.
Can I do it again? Sorry.
Yeah.
Back to presentation.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, and so this is a way for people to print from anywhere they are to a certain printer. So Kemper has it tied to all their student Gmail accounts, and this is one of the printers here. This is tied to the Google Cloud Print. I think there's another one in the high school, and St. Lawrence I think has one or two of them too. So what this allows a student to do is if they're not working on the paper, your printer isn't working, or you don't have a printer, it allows the student to print that paper from anywhere. And so in a document you're at, you go up to File and Print like you would any other normal document. And then in the print preview here that pops up, it'll say Destinations. And that's the printer you're printing to, and you'd want to click Change. So I don't know.
Only your students will see this,
Yes.
because it's under the Kemper only.
Okay. And so from there, it'll pop up with the box of printers that are available. So it's showing that I'm under my student account. These are recently where I printed to. These are that's my home printer, and these are some other ones that are where I'm at home available. And then at the bottom, it says Google Cloud Print. So this means if you select one of, in here at the high school, I have the two high school. If your kids are in St. Lawrence, they'll see St. Lawrence printers. But this allows them to select a printer from home and then print to that school printer from anywhere.
However,
24/7.
So at home, they can print at
Yes.
school.
however, if the,
Web-based.
Really?
Yep.
They have to be logged into their Google account.
if you,
But they can print it.
That
This
works
is
good, 'cause
Trent.
our printer was wireless.
if the administrator's not logged on here though, it won't work.
Okay.
So how about my
If it,
Apple
it might not
Wireless?
always work.
So like over the weekend and stuff, it may not be available?
Yes.
Sorry, what was that?
No, that's fine, show me.
No.
My Apple wireless printer at home,
Mm-hmm.
how can I print to that?
You can set it up if you have a wireless printer, like I have an AirPrint printer, copier machine at home, and I have that set up so that, again, you can go through Google Cloud, find that. There's a couple steps you have to go through to set that up, but then you can print to it too. Like I can print from my phone or my iPad while I'm standing here, I can print at home.
Yeah.
And I think Google has ways to help set up. If you have a printer at home and you want to set up your Google account to be a cloud print, I'm sure somewhere there's a tutorial on how to set that up. And I think it needs a connected computer.
Do a YouTube search.
Yeah, okay.
Here can
Yep.
the server, I don't
Well, you'd need, you
YouTube
probably need to
search,
plug the
Google search.
computer to run it. But,
Mhm.
so selecting one of those,
imagine.
alright, so then it'll show the printer you selected, so I selected this room, and then you'd be able to click print. And so anywhere that student has, or the student has an internet connection and selects that cloud printer, they'll be able to print here. And so the printers are on 24/7. Michael said if the administrator's not logged in, it won't print, but does it get saved to a line if they?
I believe so.
So if they need to print it that night, they could come in the next morning to school and be able to find that paper.
It's like just stays in the queue there and it just like
Yeah.
waits until it comes on.
Yep,
Right here.
should.
Yeah.
And so that's Google. Any questions or topics you think we didn't cover enough, or?
Questions that come to mind?
Did we make it under the line?
We did. We're using Zoom. Zoom is, it allows you to create a virtual classroom. For instance, we could have this being broadcasted to a few other people, you know, across the world, across the street, whatever. But what's really great too is you can record. And it records unlimited 40-minute sessions. So you can do millions of 40-minute sessions. So it works really great for us. We use it all the time for our teacher training. So they can always go back and watch, you know, trainings and stuff, like what did they say? And that's good for you guys too, you know, if you're kind of like, I can't remember what he said, something about Google printing, you can go back to the video, advance it to that to where you want to listen and just listen to that part.
And that's part of Google?
That's,
Google
well,
Zoom?
we're gonna put, it's not Google, no, it's not Google Zoom, it's just Zoom.com.
No,
Zoom,
Zoom.us.
yeah, that's Zoom.us.
I use it with the middle school kids,
Yeah.
like we create some virtual
You're saying
things.
there will be a link on the
They get to
website.
record it, and
Link on the
they also
website,
present from
the
one
videos
room
in
into
that
the other
folder,
room
shared
to give them that
video,
virtual environment, so.
So it's, you're saying it's a live presentation plus you've also, you've
For
saved it
recording,
and it
yeah.
will be found on.
Yeah,
Right,
you can upload it right to YouTube and it's ready to go. So it's, so far, it's been
So
one of the
far.
best tools we found, it's
Yeah.
free.
and it's pretty new, it's not, it's been around for a little while.
You just Google Zoom and it'll give you,
This page down, and then this page up, probably.
Any questions on Google?
But,
Okay, so that's really kind of the basics of how to kind of get into Google, get started, create a document in a folder, and the sharing features. Now, if that's something that, and we'll ask you this at the end too, but we would like we said, to continue to do more parent classes, so if that's something you'd like to continue more on, you know, not more on. If you'd like to see more Google stuff, just put that in your exit slip. We're gonna have it's called an exit slip, a paper for you to fill out, to let us know what you'd like to know more of. So if it's something like, you would like to put your address book on Google, or you'd like to be specific about the things you would like to maybe try to use Google for, that way we will cater all of our training sessions to what you want. Okay? And so we'd like to continue to do more and more of that.
And Google is not just documents, like I said. So Google Sheets, that is like a Microsoft Excel document with all the boxes. That is Google Sheets. Google Slides is a presentation. That's what we're actually using here. And so just remember all of these, if you share them to other people, everyone can work on them. And so Google has more of them there. If you would click them more, they have other options available, but those are just some of the big ones. And so it's not just documents, which we've been working in, but there's a lot of options. So Google is pretty powerful if utilized.
So we didn't really do much with the documents, but is it pretty similar?
It works
It's-
like Microsoft,
Okay.
there's not a whole lot of
Okay.
Type in
difference.
it.
Alright,
but the only thing different is the tabs don't work very well. Google.
Yeah.
I use them a lot. that's why I use them.
Microsoft Word has more formatting, you know, official formatting stuff, so if you're writing certain English papers and things, so English teachers want Microsoft Word and not Google, because it's just doesn't.
so then you would
Like
just
hanging
upload it
indents.
then, that's
Hanging
Yeah,
indents.
you can type it out, paste it on the Word doc, and do the format.
Google Drives, it's simplified for the sake of being on the internet versus a big program like Word, but most of your highlights are there. It really works well.
How does Excel work into Sheets?
You can just straight up load it.
Straight upload it.
It
And converts it.
works, I mean,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I do it all the time, like, a lot of times I'll pull down or I'll put up, I do like Excel because it has some better features for sorting and formulas and stuff, and so sometimes I'll pull it down, do something, I'll put it back up in the cloud so I can work it at home, pull it down there, put it back up, so I do kind of that thing too, but, I mean, I do like it. It's
It
got-
depends on how
How far you want to
how
go.
far into it, how advanced into it. If it's basic formulas and basic charting, it works fine, we don't have any issues with it. But once you start getting the pivot tables and things like that, then you have a problem with it.
I prefer Excel and PowerPoint over Google's versions of them. I like Google Docs better most of the time, but also on your iPad you can get those too. And, you have to pay for them, I think. They'll give you
That's just
login
Google
now.
Sheets there.
You
It
just
looks
log
like
in
a
on
normal
different
Excel
devices.
document. Stuff is just kind of hidden around.
What you can get,
So you can
get
get
Excel
PowerPoint.
as an app,
Well, is Excel one of them?
or it's a,
It's called Google Sheets.
It's good,
Sheets.
it's close to, but yeah,
No,
they're like
Microsoft
it's
has one.
Microsoft, yeah,
Oh,
they do
yeah.
have
for
some.
your iPad.
I don't
And
think
I don't think it's
Word is
called
free.
Excel, it's called
Okay.
something similar
Word
to
is
that,
free.
and they
Okay.
do cost though,
Okay.
and sometimes they're pretty healthy.
Yeah,
The
okay.
Office.
I think
Yeah.
that's
The new
coming.
version of Microsoft Office Suites, I think it's like 365. I think sometimes because they'll do it where you can save it online and everything, but I think you need to pay for a subscription to get that working.
Okay, are we gonna be ready for you, Michael, next? I got
Sure.
a presentation up, okay, I'm gonna click record again. Share the screen.
Okay. This is troubleshooting. I really want it to be interactive because for the most part I might not be addressing the issues you have on a normal basis. I'm just going to be covering the general ones that most people run into. Now, it's the age-old simple fix. If something's not working, for some reason if you turn it on and back on again, it will work. For Chromebooks, you can just turn it off by holding the power button. All iDevices, iPhones, iPads, you just hold the top button until a prompt shows up that says slides to shut it down. Or if you want a hard reset, you can hold the top button and the home button for, I think it's about 10 seconds. And it'll do a hard reset, clear the RAM, and that can sometimes fix it if the regular shutdown doesn't work. Laptops, turn them off, then back on again. For connecting to the internet. First thing you want to do is in the bottom right of your screen, there's a little Verizon bars you can click. It's up there, I don't know if you can see that. Click that. First thing you want to see is that you're connected to a network among these. If you're not, select the network that you wanted to connect to, and then type in the password if it prompts to do so. If you are connected to the internet, something you can do is just click disconnect, wait just a little bit, and then reconnect to it.
No.
Okay, so we'll do that.
We might have the arrow, maybe it's not.
It's because they're wired, they don't have choices.
that's
You guys are wired,
Oh,
so
yeah, okay.
it's not going to let you do wireless.
It'll show you the name of the wired network, but it won't give you other choices.
Okay, by show of hands, who's running Windows 7? Windows 8?
Oh, a 7.
Oh, I.
Okay. And then Mac? Okay. So I won't bother showing you Windows 8 then. But if you do have an issue, a lot of computers, I can show you on this one, there's buttons near the top. On this computer, it's right here. If you click that, it will turn off Wi-Fi completely, and you won't be able to connect to a network no matter what you do on the screen. So make sure if they have a button similar to that to turn it back on. If you're still having issues, you can open network and sharing settings. That might be an option for you. And you can look through here and it'll tell you what issues you might be having. Like right now, I'm unauthorized on this network because I couldn't tell you offhand. Okay. If you're at home, you can reset your router. That'll sometimes fix any internet issues. This is a common router MediaCom hands out, it's a Linksys. All you do is just completely unplug it, wait about a minute, plug everything back in and let it reset up. It'll take about 2-3 minutes for itself to set up again. But a lot of the times it'll work. Okay, now installing software. Now your computers normally don't come with everything you want to use. And as a result, you're going to go online to download a lot of stuff. But recently, a lot of companies are doing something I like to call hitchhiking, in which they'll take, you're downloading something you want, like Java, and they'll add Ask Toolbar, MyCleanPC, and a bunch of other malware, and it completely slows down your computer, and it'll keep leeching off it. Now, there's a pretty easy way to avoid that. I'm going to walk you through on the screen right here. It should be popping up. Okay, I'm already at the Java website. I'm going to start the download. I'll tell it to save the file. Okay. I'm going to tell it to run the thing I just downloaded. It's going to pop up. Now, if you look here, it says verified publisher. If there is not a verified publisher, double check what you're downloading, because most malware will not have a verified publisher. This one's Oracle America, okay? So before you give it permission to do anything here to computer and say yes, you want to double check that there's a verified publisher. Now there's some things that don't, that you can use. I'm just saying be careful if it's not a verified publisher. Okay. Okay. So now you're there, and I can go to install. There we go. Well, I'll just continue.
Is it freezing on you?
Yeah,
We've been having
I'll pop up
issues
in a moment here. I'll just take
today.
a second.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if it's, as it says, be careful it's not licensed, and be careful of running a file if it ends in exe and you don't recognize it. So at the end of the file, you might have just, or at the beginning, it'll just be a bunch of numbers and letters. At the end, it says .exe. Don't click on those, because for the most part, they're executable files, and that's how viruses get in, is you tell them to run those, and then they have permission to do things on your computer. Okay, it's popped up now. Now if you look, it says, set Ask as my default search provider. We all like Google, right? I mean, we just went through it. Okay, and most people, they won't look at it, but if you read through, it's going to set up Ask as my default search. It's going to put Ask as my home page, and it's going to put the search or the Ask app on my desktop. And what these can do is they can chain. They'll put this one on my desktop, and since now it's on, it can allow other software to get on, and it'll really start bogging down your computer. So if you're going to download something like this, you want to uncheck and read through everything, because they will get you.
They write it small print for a reason.
Yes.
They don't want you to read through it. They put a long list in there. But that's how you end up getting, you just wanted to download Java, now all of a sudden you've got all this other stuff.
Okay. Once you've done that, okay, so that's going through it, download that way. Now, there is a nice site that we've found called Ninite, and it's spelled as it is up there. And if you look, it has almost anything you could, a lot of the basics you can put on your computer are available. A nice one on here, security, where's that?
Right to the left, go to the left, first column.
Oh, okay, yeah, see? Okay, these are some of your antiviruses, and like this one specifically has its own malware that's like dedicated to copying it. As you see, never download software from a site that starts with free. For example, free.avg.com. AVG is an antivirus. That site puts a virus on your computer that will stop it. Like, you're not going to clean it. It's basically done. So watch. But see, if you go to this site, you can just click AVG and then get installer, and it will bypass all the hijacking and any other sort of problems you have. They won't ask you to download anything else. You're getting just the things you put the check mark on.
So that'd be a good site to kind of circle in your presentation at ninite.com, because as you said, there's a lot of things listed there. Like I think that Chrome was listed there, even Dropbox was listed there. Chrome's there. So if you wanted to download Chrome at home, if you don't have it, you can click
So
that.
AVG is fine, it's not the free AVG.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
The sites look exactly the same. It's just one's a virus and the other's the actual site.
So
But
these are
they're-
safe sites.
Safe
Safe download.
everything here is safe.
Download.
And this one, you won't get all that other junk with it. You click everything you want to download.
Just what you're
Just
downloading.
to get that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
We haven't had to do that.
There's
yet.
lots of
It'll be a
good
time to
things
experience
there
that.
that you could possibly download.
In the instance that you do unfortunately get malware on your computer, you can manually uninstall it. You do this by clicking the start button in the bottom left.
And you can look at this now on these,
Yeah.
so that you
Yeah.
can see what he's
Yeah.
showing you
In
or
the bottom
talking you
left, you
through.
have the little Windows start button.
But you don't want 7, right? There's no start
No,
We're
this
doing
is
it.
7.
This is
Oh, the
7.
So
We're
8 is
putting
the
on
one with all the
this.
boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Unless you have,
I have 8.
unless, if you get 8.1, there's a desktop mode and it makes it just like this. So, do you have that? Unless you have a, I like 8 on the touch.
Clicking that Windows button.
Like, if you have this thing,
Okay, there should be an option to the right below computer that says control panel. You can find that, it's on the right column, it's right below computer. Click that. Okay, now on the top right, I'll scroll to that. Okay, a screen like this should show up, but in the top right where that arrow is, view by, if you click to small icons, it'll be, okay,
You'll get it to look like this.
it'll look like that,
Top
it'll be
right,
alphabetized.
click
Okay.
small
Restart
icons.
button.
Yeah, click up there, yeah,
Okay.
down,
Control
Where it
panel
says
is right
category.
below.
Yeah,
Invite,
it's small
so category,
icons.
click where
Now
that
go
little, you're in
view by
after category,
There.
click that, and then do
Here.
small icons.
If you wanna walk through.
There, now your screen will
Now go
focus.
to small icons.
And then we're gonna look
Okay,
at
this is everything.
programs and
Now-
features.
Now-
Sit over the
With everyone there?
first column left, first one down, right there.
Okay. There should be an option called Programs and Features. Click that.
Your Mac environment and things.
It's alphabetized, so depending on your screen size, it might vary where it is, but it'll be alphabetized.
Yep, good,
Good?
good.
Good, everyone there?
So this shows everything that's down, that every piece of software on your computer.
Okay. So this will bring up a screen of everything that's on your computer. You can scroll through it, and it's pretty straightforward how to uninstall something. You select it and click the uninstall button and go through the steps. For the most part, you don't want to do this, but if you do have malware on your computer, you can manually find it and delete it. I would be careful though, because you don't want to delete something you have. On the bright side, if you do, and you remember the name, you can just go online and install it.
When you're looking at the publisher, say like one that's missing a publisher, does that mean it's probably something bad or it's possible?
Well, okay, you can click on it and then kind of look through it. Sometimes, like see this is audacity.soundforce. Audacity is a open source audio editing app.
Okay.
So you're safe there. But if it's something like, if it's not an actual name, usually be wary of that. If like the help support stuff, like I had one that was Dell Help Desk, and its reference was just some random string of letters. That's not actually Dell Help Desk. So they will do what they can to trick you.
You'll also find like your coupon and your shopping, you know, the stuff that they put in there that you don't really want, just like you mentioned, the Ask toolbar and the Bing toolbar and all of those types of things, you can find in that same
Or
location.
the speed up your PC one,
you're
Yeah.
never actually the millionth
Okay.
visitor.
yeah.
If anything pops up on your screen and says, please download this, never trust it. Pop-ups are bad, just period. Don't deal with them, okay? Common malware I've seen is if it has a icon of a blue crowd, uninstall that. MyCleanPC. Another one I've seen is Idle Crawler. That one specifically, if you get it and it tells you, and you go through the uninstalling process, it'll come up with a prompt that says, don't uninstall us, we do good things. They're lying, continue. Okay.
What was the C cleaner again?
Did I pass that? Oh, okay. That's a software I use on my computer to keep it running almost like brand new. It'll search your computer for a bunch of stuff that you don't need in general, and it will get rid of it. To find that, just type in CCleaner on Google, and you'll get a screen like this, and right there, Paraform, CCleaner. You can just click that, go through the downloading process, and it doesn't try any hijacking.
That one is a good one to use, that one,
Yes.
yep.
And
Does
then,
it run itself so often automatically, or is there something
you
you
gotta
do?
pull it up. Here it is. Here's the screen. You can just analyze real quick.
On the one on the side, yep, screen on the side.
It'll analyze it quick. It'll tell you.
Michael, have you used that on the Mac at all? Just
You
your
don't
PC?
Oh
need to.
shoot.
You don't need
Oh,
to.
Okay.
They don't create viruses for Macs.
No, but
What
for
was that recent one?
Okay,
That's why I have them.
If you look, your computer will make a bunch of
just thinking
temporary
the extra
files.
things that
Might get installed.
These are bad, that's good.
That's correct. Yeah, we installed that.
That's fairly
Okay.
easy to.
So this will search your computer for a
I
bunch
believe
of
that
junk
was,
you don't need,
software.
like
Back into it.
cookies right here. I almost have a
Reformat within 5 minutes.
meg of that. Okay, you don't need that. What they do is they just track your searching traffic, and if you haven't done this in a long time, you'll have gigabytes of information just slowing down your computer. So this can really speed up your computer. First thing you do is analyze and you run cleaner. Make sure you don't set to like delete save passwords or stuff. You do have to customize what it deletes a little bit. You can read through these options right here. But it is a very good software.
Which one is that?
See, that
Next.
was C cleaner still.
Oh,
So you would have picked and choose this type that.
What's that?
But you would have went through and said, yeah, I wanna get rid of this, no, I want that.
It comes pretty good, yeah, it comes pretty good default. It'll pick like cookies and temporary files and stuff. But if you wanted to delete more, you can select more. It starts out pretty
But-
conservative.
So what was checked on the left-hand side was what
What
you
it
were
was
gonna
said.
get rid of. So if I wanna keep some of that stuff, I have to go through that list, or can I choose one of those things
I would go through.
specifically on the right-hand side?
You
and
can
get rid of
pick
it?
specifically on the right-hand side. You're better off just unchecking them.
Okay,
But for the most part, you're not gonna need a lot of that
okay,
stuff.
okay.
So to get to that, you just go to Google and you type in
C cleaner.
CCleaner,
ccleaner.com or.
yeah, just CCleaner. It'll show up like, no, shoot,
And you have
I
to
can email
download
it
it,
here.
yeah.
you'll come up with a
Download it.
screen like this, you click on that, and you'll come up with a screen like,
Where it says download, don't buy now, but just download.
yeah, just download. You can get a free version. And go through the steps, put on your computer.
You know, that's one thing we're finding when kids bring in devices, a lot of them have a lot of these kinds of things on them, and we've been trying to help kids to kind of clean that stuff up, and they'll find that their laptops work a lot better, more efficiently if they clean that stuff up.
how do you know that you already have it?
C cleaner is the first one.
If you already have a virus, or something like that. C-cleaner, you probably don't, I would say it doesn't usually, it's not a default thing that's installed already on your computer. You would, but if, under that programs, and features, remember that lists all the programs you have installed, so if you have it, it'd be listed there. Yep, if it's not, then you want to do a download, which I'm guessing most
If
people
you
might
already
need
have
to do a
it, if you
download.
already have it, and you install it again, will it do it twice, or like?
It'll probably say you have it already
It'll
installed.
tell you for the most, like, I'm pretty sure the software does it too. It'll tell you you already have it, you can't install it.
Yeah.
Or it'll update it and replace the old
It'll
version.
say
But you go to do that how often?
If I don't
Do
take
you
this
run
one,
that
I'm
C
going
cleaner?
As often as you like, honestly. There's
It
not.
probably depends how much you use it, I mean, if you have a lot of your kids, it's a home, computer, and everybody's on it, then you might wanna run it pretty often, don't you think, like maybe once a week or something? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, it takes a minute of your time, and it keeps your computer running smoothly and nice. There's other settings in it, if you look. I'll show you here. There's sometimes when you uninstall software, there'll be stuff left behind. This will find it. If you don't want to use the control panel programs and features, you can uninstall right here. Just you click Tools on it, and it'll give you the options to uninstall. So it's very user-friendly software. Now, for printing. When you go to print something, you gotta make sure the printer is on, that both ends of the cable are plugged in. Now, in the case that still doesn't have the printer show up, you may have to run the setup disk that comes with the printer. Now, if you have lost it, you can type in the name of your printer. So let's say a Pixma MG 5520, and then type in driver after it. It'll normally give you a list of websites. Pick the one that has your company's name on it. So if a Pixma is made by Canon, you go to that website. Make sure it says that name, because then again you can get viruses. You go there, read through it, find what says drivers for your operating system, and then download it, run it, and your printer should work. In the case it still doesn't, in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, click the Start button. Left-handed, sorry. Right there, that? Yep. And there should be one that says Add Device, Devices and Printers, yep. In the right-hand column.
Devices, look in the devices.
Okay. It should be somewhere on there, and then you can click it and say Add, and then you can add a print.
Download it further there.
Any questions?
The other thing too with printers, I mean, I can't tell you how many times there's a printing error, we go, and it's things like a paper's out. Or, you know, and kids like to click print, 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 instead of just going to see what the problem is, and then you have 40 prints that you need to do. So some basic things too, check to see it's on, that there's paper in there. And if it's still kind of all, and if those things are in there, one thing we like to do a lot is unplug the power cord to the printer and plug it back in. That usually resets
Yeah,
things.
it clears the memory.
It clears
The
it
other
out.
thing that we run into is sometimes they get click happy and happen to hit the offline, which basically it's still on, everything looks like it's running, but it's offline, which means it won't communicate. So you just click that little button and it communicates again. So sometimes the simplest things are the ones that give you the biggest headaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once again, the browsers you should most likely use is Chrome because it's very fast, efficient, secure, and works very well with Google. And it's nice to have a backup browser in case. And Firefox is nice for older computers because it's a little bit less resource intensive. So if you do have an older computer and Chrome's running slow, try Firefox. It's a little bit smaller, just as secure, works just as well.
You can download just like you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually it's on that 99 site too. Okay. Windows Update. This is a good thing to do. It updates your software, Windows 7, 8, and it helps prevent some viruses, not a lot of them. Reduces crashing or other general issues, and it also prevents certain vulnerabilities that allow hackers to get into your computer. Now to access this, click the Start button again in the bottom left, and just type in Windows Update into that little the little search bar that's there. And one of the choices there should be Windows Update at the top of the list. Yep.
You should have top there.
And click the Windows Update, and you should get a screen.
Ever tried, do you know where it is on 8?
Well, once I dig around long enough.
Settings, change PC settings. So,
When I talked to Bill Schrott too about what are some of his suggestions too for troubleshooting, he said this is probably one of his best suggestions he could give is to make sure you do this often.
The way they buried it.
Clear up a lot of your problems and issues if you do the Windows Update.
I'm holding up
And
Windows
finally,
pages
on any
the
computer, you want a reliable antivirus.
well, it looks like
The one that comes default on all Windows
Still have that if
machines
you need
is
to, but
Microsoft Security Essentials. Another good one is Avast. On that 99 site I showed you, they have AVG and Avast on the security options that you're going to download through that. I would suggest having a antivirus. However, only one, because if you have multiple ones, they will slow down your computer and fight each other. Now, you can get paid versions like Norton and Systematic Endpoint Connection Protection. But the only advantage they offer is 0-day protection, which means it'll stop most viruses that came out that day. So they have software for that, but for the most part, you won't run into issues like that.
And Avast and AVG is on there too. Those are, you can get free versions, but they do have paid ones too. And so a lot of times, computers you buy will come with Norton on it, and a lot of people just stay with it for convenience because it's already on there. It asks you all the time to pay money to keep it running, but it's on there and it usually comes on the computer and it works pretty well.
You can get it at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the
So
best
is there
option?
one that you recommend? Like, is there?
That's a little
It's
difficult
personal.
because particularly for free ones, I've read online they're always kind of changing which one they think's kind of best. Of AVG and Avast are usually pretty good free ones. Norton and Systematic, those are the same company. Those are usually good paid version ones, but they're always kind of fluctuating. But those are good, well-known brands for just antivirus protection.
And the ones on the 99 site are completely free. They'll give you the installer, they'll be on your computer as soon as you run it.
Okay, so I noticed you guys don't have McAfee there, so you guys are not big fans.
McAfee, isn't that malware?
See,
No.
I can never tell because I feel like it works,
I
but it
think
also
they-
bothers
There's
you
like
so
a
much.
ton of different fake ones of it where like there's so many different viruses where they like pretend to be like I had McAfee on my computer. That's what I used for a year because I had a free year of it. And then somewhere along the line I got a fake one where they'd pop up and they'd tell me I need to check it all the time. And then they'd say I have so many viruses that I didn't actually have. And when it's like, do you want to make changes on your computer to delete these? It was really just installing more. Like, there really wasn't those viruses at all. There was a lot of things. Like,
That's so bad.
it's just,
So you
if
might
you're
wanna
careful with what you're downloading, it works as long as it's not downloading a fake Mac.
And
So,
And again, my laptop came with, I think, a free month of McAfee. As soon as it expired, I didn't really want to go out and pay for one. I knew there were free options that were available that are nearly as good, if not as good. And so I just went out and downloaded, I'm actually running Avast on mine. I downloaded a separate firewall, just in case, because I don't know if it comes with it. Sometimes the paid versions come with a few extra options. And so that's why if you're wanting to try to dig in and deal with a free one, that's fine. That's kind of where Norton is kind of become a big company is. When you buy a new computer, it's often on there and then it'll pop up saying, hey, we're going to end, just pay for another year subscription. And so it's just convenient. But any of them will pretty much work. And Microsoft Security Essentials, as Michael said, comes on the computer. And that comes with any Microsoft device, and so that's pretty easy to sit there and just run that just have a basic level of security.
But I do not like default. Go ahead.
Is that good stuff, Microsoft Security Essentials?
Well,
We use
my
it
issue
throughout
with
the district.
What?
We use it throughout the district.
The only thing is, if it's a default brand, and generally if you're a hacker, you're going to create stuff to circumvent what most people have.
You know what they got.
So if there's going to be a security flaw, not that I know this for a fact, but if I was going to create one, I was going to be creating one for Microsoft Security.
He's one of the good guys.
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
Yeah, so I prefer to get something else. Any questions about anything troubleshooting?
We need to pause the
Yep,
recording.
I'm gonna go. If you need to take a quick break too, feel free to do so. We just have one more presentation for you.
If any of you guys are interested in what a Chromebook is, we ran down and grabbed one. So this is a Chromebook. It's it's like your normal PC, but it only runs the Chrome browser, and so it's completely off here, and it starts up really quick here. So there, it's on. That was completely off, and now it's on. It kind of looks the same. Oop, I need to log in here.
Google based.
But it's all the Google we covered that's on here. So when you open it, it's pretty much just a Chrome browser. That's everything you have there. You can't do Microsoft on it, you can't do other programs, but if all you need is something that connects to the internet, and if you use Google services online, this works great because they're cheap, like $250, $200 for one of these. They have a really good battery life. They're usually fast enough for what you need. They just work. They're light. They're portable. This is a Chromebook. If you need to use like Microsoft apps on it, it doesn't really work. But
It has no storage, basically, is what he's saying. You
All
have
it
to use
does-
like a flash drive or something that additional or cloud
it's
storage.
just a normal Chrome browser.
All it does is internet.
Like,
When you're looking for a computer, say you were looking for a laptop for a daughter, is there a big difference
they're
between
light and then,
Intel
It's just
versus
pretty
like
much
an
Chrome
AMD
browser. So they put
processor? I
some
mean,
of
that's
these
what I
down
see the
here.
biggest thing, what as I see as a difference when I'm comparing them side by side.
And if you are going to get a computer, a good way to get like a 20% discount is go refurbished. Meaning it went through manufacturing testing and it's basically brand new, but like someone returned it without opening the box. That goes refurbished. So you can get a nice discount and a perfectly
So
new
this
computer
is a school one. that I
while you're
sent
buying
on
one.
my
If you just
account.
go refurbished,
So my
but make sure you
Google
buy
account that I
them
was
from
using
a
on my other
licensed
computer,
dealer.
all of that's here still.
I don't know if there's a big difference.
I just have my Google signed in here, and so all my stuff is available.
Yeah, they use
So one
Chromebooks
of my classes
heavily
here were
at St.
competition. I
George
can pull up all my
Yeah,
files and all
that's
that
the
that I
device of
saved on
choice over
Google
there.
for it.
They have,
And then
how
here
many
is
over
Gmail.
there?
This would be my
40?
student
No,
email.
we had,
No?
we
Or
started
up
with
here.
50 and then I think we're up to 60 over
And,
there, plus we use
They
2
have
mobile
started adding
carts.
breaking
And they're getting
down
20 more
Slack
over there, too.
apps.
I thought we have to
Programs,
have to
but
break them all.
normally
That's what we would like.
They're
Your
trying
own-
to
your
lean
own
into
device is
in Chrome
encouraged.
on a normal
However, we
computer,
will make
this will
sure
do.
too, if you
And so,
choose
if you
not
spend
to
most of your day
participate,
on the internet,
we
just
have
on
a device
Chrome
for
normally,
you.
then this would work just fine.
We've always had the mobile carts
Yeah, they don't
over,
have
so.
a computer.
Yeah.
And sometimes I know I have 2 kids at St. Lawrence. One brings a device, one doesn't. But the one, even she has an iPad from home that she brings. Some things don't work on that, so there's certain classes she still has to check one out from the
But
library.
as
And
far as-
right now, they don't use it as much. They're going to be leaning into it a lot more.
My 8th grader uses it all the time. My 6th grader not
I
so
think
much, so that's.
eventually they're gonna start giving
The only issue you'll have is you can't run Microsoft Word on the Chromebook.
Carol does.
So if they have to edit a paper to certain specifications, they're going to have to get on one of these and edit it quick and then print it
Chrome
off.
doesn't have WordPad on it, or WordPad.
No,
None of the only thing you can
Microsoft
run
stuff.
is the internet. So anything that you would X out of your internet, pull up something else, you can't do. It's
So WordPad's not on it.
So Nancy, what do you think? Intel versus AMD,
Well,
is there a big difference?
I guess I would have to do a little bit of research because it depends on which type of processor. There's so many different ones.
Levels of each.
So they're comparable. I don't think there's a big vast difference. But again, there are some different types of chips that I would have to know what one we're looking at to know the speed and what you're using it for, dual core, quad core. I mean, there's just all kinds of things.
but the difference is minimal between
Depends.
the two
Alright.
companies.
Quad core is definitely better though, right? Because it's able to do
That
the
depends
things.
too.
Alright, so,
See, we opened
I
a
was
can
all
of worms
looking at
there.
mine.
Open to opinions.
So I go my day off.
alright,
It depends on the purpose.
Alright,
Yeah.
AMDs are generally cheaper. If you're gonna have a computer like this that sits on your desk, AMD, if you want cheaper, that's fine. Where I kinda like Intel more is they've been making newer chips. They've kind of been leading it, so particularly with laptops and other computers that are portable, they often have better battery life and run cooler. They don't get so hot on your lap. We have a laptop at home and it nearly bakes your hand when if you touch it in the right place. And so I kind of like Intel particularly more for mobile devices because, and some of the new ones, like this is my current laptop right now, and even in the back here you can see the slots where the fans are. They just announced a new version of this, and it doesn't have those slots for the fan anymore because the new Intel inside of it runs cool enough. It doesn't need a fan to cool it. This is a Lenovo Yoga, and so the reason I chose this is because it opens up and works just like a normal laptop, just fine. But if you need, you can flip it and hold it like that, or put it on a table like that, and then it folds over into a tablet if you need it to. And so they have.
That one said refurbished, so that one is a refurbished.
Yes, this is a
product.
refurbished.
Okay.
It retail.
Yeah, I was
my
gonna say,
parents
it's
to
not
spend-
$200 one, is it?
No, I convinced my parents to indulge a little bit. So this normally retails for like $1,500, and I found it refurbished for I think $900. And so you can get away with a lot cheaper alternatives. Like this is like $250, or they have good Windows laptops that you can get for $500-600. I just wanted my parents to indulge because as I go to college, either I'll take this with me, or it's going to go to my sister who will use it for the next 4 years through high school. And I didn't want something that after the first year or two, it'll sit there and it won't really run for her. And so if this goes to my sister, I wanted something that would keep
Oh, so it wasn't by you.
Yeah.
How generous, did you see that?
We'll buy that, right?
I'm gonna let Angela know that the next time I see her.
Early on, does this fill your needs?
Yes, this has been plenty. For the storage on it, instead of running a hard drive, which has a spinning disk, you kind of don't want to move it too quickly or whatever. This has an SSD, so it's just it's like a memory card. Nothing moves. It's just a
Solid
chip.
state.
And so it's faster, and it don't need to worry about moving it really. And so it's just been working good, and
Generally, if you're getting a school computer and it doesn't need to be phenomenal, all the more you need is dual core, because quad core is for like 3D rendering and a lot of video, and though a lot of kids don't do that, and you don't need a solid state drive. It speeds up boot and file saving to some degree, but for the most part, it's like 3 times the price
they're more expensive.
They're way
for
more expensive.
Less storage. So that has a 256 gigabyte hard drive in it. Most other computers, if you don't get it, will go 500, 750, or 1,000 for the same price. And so, if you don't need that speed, or some of these thinner ones, they put them in there because they're getting too thin for a normal one. Then that, but otherwise, an SSD, I just thought it would be something good to have.
And it depends on how long. I mean, you're thinking a few years, and
Yep.
you may be thinking just do basics for high school until you give it to the next child. And, I mean, we can go in all night long on other options.
No, that's
I
fine,
just,
sorry.
You get them started, we'll never get them stopped.
A hard drive.
But anyway, the processors, they battle each other. So
Okay.
one will push the other,
You
it
can
just
probably
depends.
see what class is like sometimes with these guys, right? You
Yeah,
know,
all three of these are in my hardware class.
Yeah, and if I step in, then we just go crazy and go off and, yeah. So, we'll start with the last, sorry about that before, that's my phone making all that noise, sorry about that. I know that we're running late,
What?
and I do apologize, but I do think that you would agree that these guys have a wealth of knowledge, and there's such a great benefit to be part of our school, and we so appreciate, I mean, they've helped us in countless ways, and so it's really great that they're able to share their knowledge tonight too, I think, so. Plus it makes our job so much easier, you know, so. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead and start, the last session here. All right, and this one, this is a little bit more of us kind of giving you some information. There are some points where we will have you hop on a computer, but for the most part, this is what we kind of call a sit and get, which means basically we're just going to kind of give you some information. This is going to talk about becoming more internet and app savvy. We have a lot of and I'm a mother of 2 teenagers, so they have iPhones and iDevices, and it's hard to keep up with the things they're getting into. And so one of the things that we're talking tonight about too is kind of keeping them safe. Things that you can do as a parent, so you're aware, and we're going to talk about some things you can do to keep them safe on the internet. Okay? And Seth is going to help me tonight too. And, okay. It's Lincoln.
Click on the slide.
Alright. There, okay, alright, thanks, Hannah. Alright, so we're gonna talk about first some good apps for the family. The other way?
The other direction?
There you go, alright. For your younger children, BrainPop Junior is one that we recommend too. We have a school subscription of BrainPop and BrainPop Junior. They're apps that you can download on your iDevice. We're mainly going to talk about iPads or iDevices or iPhone devices. And we do have a camper code that they can go and log in and they can use it at home. Most of your children know this too, but it's the username is Kemper and the password is Catholic. If you go on to, and BrainPop's just a website as well. It's a great website for kids. It has tutorial videos on there about various topics. It has quizzes and activities and follow-up things. We use it K-12. We use BrainPop K-12, and we utilize it quite often. I know that we were in the first week of school. The license went out, and I think I had like 10 emails the first week of school saying, BrainPop. And so I quickly got it going, and it was up in an hour later, so that was great. Spelling test. This is something too when you have little ones and they always bring home their spelling list. This app is really nice because you can go ahead and put in their spelling words. They can type those in and they can practice different games and things so that they can practice their spelling words for the week. Now, like I said, I have teenagers now, but it wasn't that long ago, I swear, that I was practicing spelling words until, the wee hours of the night, it seemed like it. But, so something like this would be a lot better, and it's definitely a lot more fun than just writing them over and over again.
It also does voice recordings, so if you want, you can record a sentence with the word, and it would be like the actual spelling test that we're taking.
Very good. And see, the guys helped with these apps too, as you can hear too. PBS videos too, and also a lot of these videos I'm showing you have been recommended by Common Sense Media. CommonSenseMedia.org is a wonderful website that has tons and tons and tons of great information for parents. It has videos about how to keep your kids safe. It has great reviews on all different kinds of apps from little kids as far as 3 years old to as high as 16, 17 years old. It goes through the reviews, lots of great things for you. One of my favorite websites, by the way. IXL Math, I know that Carroll Public has a subscription for this too, but IXL Math takes, and you can use it for free as well, but you can use, I think it's up to 10 to 20 math problems a day you can do on this. What's really great about it is that you start wherever level you're at. So even if you have a student maybe that struggles in math, they might be in 6th grade, but maybe they're really doing 4th grade level math. You can start at 4th grade and you can start building on wherever they are and continue and work their way up. We use the free version of it here as well, and we use it. We've seen a lot of progress. It's great, like I said, because you can really differentiate where the students are and get their practice where they need it. So that's another really good one too. There we go. Seth, yours.
Evernote's a note-taking app. It's free. All of these are free. Evernote's a really nice one. Microsoft has versions. Google Docs, you can use the same thing. My sister always used it. I never used it. 2048 is a game. If you have a teenager with an iPad, they're going to have games on it, whether you want them to or not. And this is actually an educational one. It was a big thing at school. Really, everybody had it. It's multiplying or adding numbers to try and get all the way up to 48 by sliding bars over. Wolfram Alpha is a question, like you ask it a question, math question, and some history, right?
Yeah.
Some history.
If you ever haven't been able to help your kids on math homework, this will answer almost any math question there is. It'll give you the graph, integrals, derivatives, and it'll show you step by step how to get there. So it not only gives you the answer, it can show your kids how to get there. It also does some other questions, but for the most part it's a math engine.
Good thing to have kids check their work with and not necessarily go to this first and then fill in the blanks. So a really good reference.
Another one kind of like, nothing like this, but checking your work. It's called Slater, and it has answers to a bunch of book things. Don't have them just copy all their homework off of there.
And keep in mind, Wolfram Alpha is available on the computer, but the app version, there's a free and a paid version. I don't know the difference between the two yet, because the free one seems to do quite a bit.
Ads maybe. Shazam, you can hold it up to, like, maybe you're listening to the radio, you want to know what the song is, you hold it up to it, it'll collect a bit of the song, it'll search it, it'll tell you what song it is, it might tell you some lyrics, it'll tell you when it was wrote, who wrote it. It's a fun little app. And Anova Extended is, it compresses data down when it sends it to your phone. So like, you know how you get so much data a month, and if you go over it you have to pay more. It'll compress it down on your phone, so then when you open it up, it'll like compress it, send it to your phone, open it up, so you get everything. It's just smaller.
So you can actually get more data out of what you pay for. So you get a gig, you can technically get like a gig and a third.
Okay, me again. One of the things too, as I said, being a mother of teenagers, these kinds of things help me too. AppCertain, if you haven't heard about this one, it's a really great one, especially if you have kids and they all have devices. AppCertain is an app that you download on your device, you download it on their device, and then you can set curfews. So when it's 9 o'clock, they can't use that device anymore. It keeps track of what apps they download, so if they have their own iTunes account, you can go ahead and see which ones they're downloading. It gives you information on apps, so maybe you don't know about all these apps and what's okay, what's not. It gives you all the descriptions, if there's a warning with it, if there's violence in there, if there's sexual content, all of those kinds of things. It gives you that information too. This is highly recommended. And also, in this presentation, if you click on some of these icons like this one, it takes you to that website. It has a video telling you what that's like. Okay, so a lot of those have nice summaries for you too. Cloud Magic, I don't use this one, but the guys recommended this one too. I have like a Gmail account and a Gmail account. And so these guys are saying though, it's nice if you have like a Yahoo, a Gmail,
I have
other
5
ones.
different accounts to keep track of. And what this will do is unofficially merge them and you get all your emails in one place and allow you to send emails off quickly. It'll notify you on your phone screen without actually giving you a noise, so it doesn't bother you, and it's an easy way to connect to your email accounts at all times.
Because you have a lot of different ones too. And like, I have several Gmails, I think I have 4 now. And I think I have more than just 2, I have 4. But anyway, I have those all feeding into the same place, like on my phone, I have all 4, and you can do that. MobiSip, this one is I came across recently too, and I'm still kind of testing it out a little bit. But it helps you, it's an app that you can download and you can monitor the internet on devices, on computers, on all those kinds of things. It makes MobiSip be your default browser, and that way you can restrict what the kids can see, and you can also see their history of what they're doing too. Battery Doctor, it increases your battery life and speed. Again, the guys recommended this one too.
It has an option for you to clear your RAM, so if you got a bunch of stuff on it, it'll kind of reallocate it and make it speed up again. My brother's iPod is to a point where it's just crashing consistently. We got him this app and had him start running it, kind of started fixing, and supposedly, I can't really agree with it at this point, but if you turn it on while you're charging, it can double your battery life.
How does that happen?
I don't know, that's why I say I can't verify it. That's what I saw some reviews say, and that's what the app says it will do.
Interesting. All right. Another one, Seth told about this one. You want to share about this one, your favorite?
My parents use this one. It's Life 360 if your kids have phones. Like in my house, you don't get a phone until you're graduated 8th grade, but a few of my friends' siblings have them, and they're in like 7th, 6th grade, and or even an iPod. If they get near Wi-Fi, it'll tell you where they're at. Like you can track them. Like they say they're at a friend's house. You can look at it randomly, and it'll say where they're at.
Or where they're not.
Or where they're not.
Also tell us about the other things that are on
It's
there.
not easy to turn off either, by the way.
Do they have to have that installed on their
Yes, they
device?
do.
Yes, you
have to.
Yeah, okay.
install it on theirs. You install it on yours. You sign into like a family. You can also have friend ones if you want to say like meet up at a certain place. You can also, if you're in a town that you don't know about, you bring it up and it'll tell you. It's kind of like Google Maps, you know, where it's got streets and everything, and it'll tell you the address of the police department, hospitals, sex offenders. It has all the sex offenders in the city
It
on
comes
it,
up with their picture and where they live.
like their description,
Yep.
and what they have.
Now, and I would recommend too, because I download this app, and you decide, you know, and I send it out to my husband and my 2 teenagers, and they don't tell them what it is first, because I did, and no one is signing up for it. It's like no one wants to keep track of them. So don't tell them what it's for. Just sign up, and that way you can tell them afterwards.
Can you
But
put that on their phone?
you can put it on their
You
phone.
put it on their phones.
Yeah.
If they don't have a
Find my
phone,
friends.
like it's kind of like Find My iPhone, except it's not as easy to turn off.
Right.
So you put
Find
it
My
on when
iPhone.
it's on. and then-
It's on. It's like if you know how
You
if
want to put it on when you stay
Yeah.
out?
And will it notify you if you get rid of it?
well, you know how if you have an iPod, you know iPods, right? If you double click the home button, it'll come up with everything. You swipe them up, and it makes the battery last a little longer because it takes it off of the taskbar or whatever. If you swipe out of that, you won't be able to search where they're at, but it'll tell you if they're not connected anymore, and like call them up.
When I did grab Elizabeth's phone and I covertly put it on her phone. But when I did that too, it said Elizabeth has just arrived at
Yeah,
34.
it'll tell you when they arrive home.
But it'll tell them where you're at too, right?
I don't know if it did or not.
Yeah,
I think
it'll
it does.
tell you.
Yeah.
I don't care if mom's at home.
Mom's at home right now.
Yeah, okay, let's do
But it was
that.
kind of good, because you can set what your home spot spot is, so like when they get there, it sends you a notice they
It's
arrived
like
there.
30 feet of your house once you get within
Yeah.
that. Since I live on the highway, if I end up driving past my house, my mom will be at the rec center. She'll call me up like, "Why are you home?" I'm like, "No, I'm going somewhere."
Yeah.
Well, you can the worst message
It's
I
not
ever get is
perfect, but it's
like
pretty
sometimes I accidentally swipe out of it. I'm trying to get my internet to go up, and my mom will it'll send you a message on the app. She doesn't have to type. She'll just be like, "Stacy wants you to reconnect to Life 360."
Yeah. I really appreciate this one. My kids, however, wish I didn't tell me. I'm just saying.
Our rule is if you wanna drive a car, you have to have a working phone. If you wanna have a phone, you have to have your has to have the thing on.
Yeah,
And so he can stay home,
yeah.
then I know where he's at,
Yeah.
leave it on, so.
Same
I
thing
got a
with Find My,
stereo. I plug my phone in.
with Find My iPhone too. Again, if you lose it, it can find where it's at as long as it's pinging to the network and stuff, which is saved on a lot of cases and a lot of phones and stuff. Moving on to the Cozy is one of my personal favorites that I like and I use it all the time. You can have family calendars. I don't use this calendar. I use Google Calendar and share events with my kids and husband. You do have to have them actually look at their calendar to know what's going on, which you have to train them to do that too. But I really like Cozy for the to-do list and the shopping lists. You can create different shopping lists, and so like if you're going, like I'm going to Des Moines this weekend, so I need to go to Hobby Lobby. I'm going to put all the stuff under Hobby Lobby that I want to get. I'm going to go to the mall. I'm going to put all the stuff I want to put on the mall. And it's really nice. The other thing that's great, because I share with my husband, he works at Pella, so he goes right by Fairway after work, so I can say, hey, check the Cozy. There's a list for you. So he gets a list under Fairway. He can stop and pick things up on the way home.
I am not getting this.
He can also, Randy, he can also send me to-do lists too, which, I ignore most of the time. But I mean, it's nice because you can do, I know Renita, I'm not really doing it. But it's nice because for the shopping thing, convenience and that kind of thing. And how many times have you left your shopping list at home on the countertop, but your phone's in your pocket? So this way it's always on your phone and ready to go. It's a website, it's an app that you put on your phone and also for an iPad and stuff too.
So if they know you're going to Walmart, can they add stuff to
Yes,
your list?
yes, they
Okay.
can. Yep,
And send it to you as you go.
yes. Yep,
On Find My iPhone 2, that comes on most devices,
Right.
like iPhone devices and stuff. And it'll search, it'll tell you where your iPad's at or whatever if you lost it, like the address and what, maybe you left it at work or something. But if you lose it in your house, maybe it just fell in the cushions or something, it'll ping. It'll ding at you if you turn it on. Also, if you have Androids, there's some apps like that where you text it a code even if you left it in silent mode. It'll wake it up and it'll start where you catch you.
okay,
Good to look at.
thank you. All right, so apps to be aware of.
Okay, 13 years or older. These are age restrictions. Most people don't know, you're supposed to be a certain age from. Like Facebook, nobody uses Facebook anymore. It's getting out of date. I use it just so I know when my great aunt over in Germany wants me to play Candy Crush. That's about it. Twitter, these are all 13 and older, those are all 17 and older. 13 and older, they're a little more,
Social media type.
well, yeah, but they're, people
Yes,
are watching,
yes.
moderated.
Because there's some art in there, Pinterest.
Pinterest.
That's the more naked than it to get my drift. Yeah, and one of these things too that we're adding these on here, and if you notice, we put a message down here too. We have dealt with bullying, sexting, all kinds of different harassment types of things, kids posting inappropriate things right and left at our school, last year, this year, the year before. And we were having that problem a lot with our 4th and 5th graders a couple of years ago because they were using Snapchat and they were bullying. And really, there wasn't a whole lot. I mean, we talked to the kids, we talked to the parents as well, but the main thing is that these kids should not have these apps. They're just not ready for them, and they're using them inappropriately. And so one of the things we're saying, and we talked to administration too, and we said, okay, can we tell parents a firm statement? And they said, yes, absolutely we should. that if your child is not meeting these age limits, they should not have these apps. And it's for your safety. It's for your student safety.
What about Skype? Because the girls just got that on their iPods, and all of a sudden, we got a name, BB Panties. Tried to, I don't know how they got it.
Brandy.
No, I'm serious.
I'm just kidding.
So Avery brought it to Benita and I, and we're like, ooh, delete that right away. And then they got another one not too long ago.
Really.
Like,
Skype.
I'll get
Who's
random
Skype?
Snapchats. It'll be from like sup agent or something, and it's like, it stands for something. It's like Snapchat. And what they do is they'll send you a picture, and they'll say like you won something, and they'll give you a code, and you go there, and you're supposed to get something for free. They're just signing you up for a bunch of malware. If you give your email address out somewhere that you're not positive about, or like they don't say they won't share with anybody, they can sell your email address.
So is that how you think they got, I mean, how did they?
That could have happened. They could have just randomly put something
You
in.
can in Skype go in there rather than just delete the app too. You can go and report that as like an offense or something like that, and you can restrict them and block them. I have had a couple, I guess now that you say that were kind of weird. I didn't have any BB candy ones come through mine, but I did have a couple that should have been in that. All I did was restrict or reported it in Skype, and then they blocked some from that. So, I mean, and a lot of kids use FaceTime a lot too, which you kind of got to watch that too. Again, just setting restrictions of when they're doing that. I know it's a really good thing to do that they like to do after bedtime. You know, one of the rules we have too is you go to bed, your device is in our room charging at night. And even when we had 6 girls living at our house for homecoming, everyone's device was being charged on the island after they went to bed because, or after a certain time, just safer. You know, some of these things too, if they just have like an iTouch and not an iPhone, if they download this text-free app, they can still text and send pictures, so keep that in mind too.
There's a lot of that too.
Those over here, Vine, Kick, what's that one?
Snapsafe, there's a bunch of different logos for that one. There's ones where it's blue with the, it usually looks like the ghost from Snapchat over here. It's some kind of ghost, except a different color or something.
So, do you guys know what Snapchat is?
You can look at it for so many seconds, then it's gone.
But you
forever.
can screenshot it.
Well,
It
you can
doesn't have to be
but
gone
it
forever.
tells them.
It tells
If
them
you
where to
screenshot somebody,
it to.
it'll come up, they screenshot your picture. If you use this, it won't tell them that you screenshot.
Just downloads the picture.
Yeah, it'll download it, they'll never know you screenshot.
And so, like, particularly
It's
with
malicious.
particularly with like Skype or Snapchat or Facebook in particular, a lot of times the default settings may be left a little open. Like Seth was talking, he might get random Snapchats. There's a setting in there where before people may try to send you them, but you have to add them as a friend before you can get any of them. So you go into settings and you'll see all the people who want to add you, and then you check the ones you want. Same with like Skype. I don't know if there's security settings you can set there where people can't just randomly add you, they have to request it, kind of like Facebook. Same, and Facebook's been notorious for privacy settings of you may set it really strict and then they update it and then all of your settings are reset back open again. I think they've kind of changed that and gone away from it there, but for a couple of years there, Facebook was kind of notorious for as soon as you updated it, they opened up all of your settings again. So
If you ever have questions about a certain app too, you can always email me and ask me, and if I don't know, I'll go look it up. Also, like I said, that Common Sense website is awesome. It has so many apps listed of good, bad, and ugly, and that kind of thing.
These two are games.
Oh yeah, these two.
Grand Theft Auto, that one's a little older, so you might have heard of that one. The new one just came out. I'm 17.
You're also 18.
I'm 17.
17. Thank you.
But like my little brother plays it, and it's they're gory. They say bad words like a lot, especially this one. Call of Duty, not as much. That one's a little newer, so you might not have heard and played that one as much. But this one's definite stay away from. That it's kind of bad.
Well, just the premise of the game is not really great.
This one's not as bad, but I still like it's more of just violent. That's the gist of it. Kind of like just watching a movie. They have them on Xboxes and PlayStations and iPhones.
Alright, okay, so we're gonna show you a couple other things too, how to keep kids safe. We're gonna kind of go through these kind of quick, because I know we're running behind. So, one of the things on the iPad, or in their iPhone too, that I do all the time on all my kids' devices, is go under the settings, which is the gear, if you're on the iPad, and you can go under general and set restrictions. And restrictions means, like for instance, my daughter's iPhone. I can turn off her internet. So now she can text and she can take pictures. I can turn that off if I want. I can turn all kinds of things off if I want to. So, and I can also set things so that she cannot log on with a different Apple ID account and upload and download her own apps. That's been happening too with kids. Let's say a parent has their Apple ID on the phone so you can monitor what apps are downloaded. Kids are creating their own Apple ID, logging the parent off, logging theirs in, and downloading stuff they shouldn't. So you can restrict it so they can't kick you off right in here. Again, did I mention I have 2 teenagers? Anyway, so what they do to set this restrictions, you set your own passcode, 4-digit number, obviously don't tell them it, and then you can go ahead and turn everything off that you want to. And as they show more maturity and trustworthiness, you can open things. And if they kind of make a mistake, you can close it back up, that kind of thing. So it's really nice for you to be able to monitor that. The other thing that's really important too, we talked about parents a lot, is check the browsing history on your computers. If whatever browser they're using, you can go in and check their browsing history. A big sign for you is if the history's been deleted, they probably did it for a reason.
They're speeding up the browser.
Right.
That CCleaner
Smart kid.
I've used that excuse before.
Look how quick that was.
CCleaner will get rid of the history though.
It will,
So
okay.
if you do
Tell
run
them
that.
to use that.
Okay, good
Because-
point.
So if they don't have that,
Yeah, check your history first, then run that. Yeah, okay, so that's a good tip to do, and this shows you the different ways to do it in the different browsers. Also, in Google, I mean, kids are using this to search all the time. In Google in settings, you can go ahead and go in and say safe search, and you can turn that on, and you can, so that explicit stuff doesn't come up, which is really nice too. Also, a big one, YouTube. Kids love to get on and watch YouTube videos. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the first YouTube page, and you can turn on safe mode. So again, not explicit stuff can come on. They never think to scroll to the bottom, by the way. So don't tell them you're doing it, because they can turn it back on. But scroll all the way down, turn it on, and then you're safe.
What do you think of kids having a YouTube account? I mean,
It's great.
that's fine, that they, like, they wanna even upload videos and things like that,
Absolutely.
yes?
All the
YouTube's
time.
moderated pretty well.
Well, the main thing-
It's not, there's not a lot of,
We use YouTube heavily.
Yeah.
That's
Hold on.
Good
Well, we only had to do it in our.
I would recommend, and you
Caleb really wants to,
now,
but like, I'm just kind of unsure yet. like-
you sign into YouTube using your Gmail now too.
Yeah,
don't
Yeah.
you?
YouTube is owned
So
by
he could
Google.
use his
Yeah.
school's email, and then the school also launched
Those
it.
are-
Yep, so, yeah.
One thing we need to talk about, and we'll do this quickly, Seth, talk about incognito.
Incognito mode, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's, you can open up, if you use a Chrome browser, it's in other browsers too, it's just a little harder to find, so if your kid's using it, it's probably in Chrome. And it makes it so you can't, no history shows up, it doesn't have anything like that, there's no way to trace what they did. The only thing that saves is bookmarks, delete cookies, you won't get it. So if you see it, there's a little detective man up on the top left. I want to show you, but we're kind of out of time. So it's it'll be at the top left. There's tabs usually that you can click in between. There'll be a little. It looks like a detective on it, and it's like a shadow outline of him. That means they're using it. They're never using it for a good reason. You can click. There's settings, it's 3 bars on Chrome, and click on that, you click new incognito tab and it'll open it up. Also, if your kid's using an iPod and their search history is deleted on that, you can go to settings, go to Safari, if that's what they're using, I assume. I use Chrome on mine sometimes, so just run Google stuff, but you can go to, and you'll cookies, I think it's under, and it'll show everything they've been on, even if they deleted their history, because nobody deletes their cookies.
True, good point.
No.
Yeah, good deal. Okay, good. The other thing with Windows 8, we're gonna talk about that real quick too.
It's kind of like you moderate what your kids are doing. You can get games on Windows 8 like a lot easier than other ones. There's actually like kind of an app store on it, so they can get like Hill Climb. That's actually a decent game. That's a good one for kids. But you can set like there's ratings. There's E for everyone, E10, which is ages 10 and up, teen, which is T for teen, M for mature, and then there used to be an AO for adults only. You can moderate what they're doing on that. You can block specific apps, so like you don't want them to have Snapchat, you block that, they're not able to get it anymore, certain things like that.
Okay.
Oh, and it'll send you a monthly, if you sign in to, there's a setting under there, it'll send you a monthly what they've been doing on their internet, what they've spent it'll let you know everything they've done.
And that's
on
in
their
a
computer.
child parent account?
Child, you sign up a parent account and then you sign them up as a child on their computer. Yeah.
Okay, good. And then the last page here again, these are all, oh, thank you. These are all links that if you click on the pictures, it goes to the websites too, but this kind of gives you again some more information about seeing these types of things, these good websites. So if you have more questions about certain things like finding Instagram if you're not sure really what that is, if you, and some of the worst apps kids could have, and cyberbullying, Snapchat, again. So there's just some really great resources for you to check out again later and share with your kids too. They're really good videos for them too.
And a lot of apps, if you have the app as well, I don't know, some of you might have Facebook, like, if you're friends with them and you make sure you're able to see whatever they have, it's a little bit safer still. Like Instagram's closer moderated than like Facebook. You can see their search and everything on that. You can see who they're following, which is what they see on their Instagram, and you can follow them to see what they post, or you can just check theirs all the time.
But that's only if they're friends.
Yeah, if you follow them. Yeah, if they have the app and they're not letting you follow it, then
You should always, yeah, you should always be in front or follow. One last thing for the night too, that, I mean, you don't have to do it right now either, but we really appreciate and want your feedback of our training sessions. As I said, we would like to do more of these. We're thinking maybe something next month already again. And again, bring a friend. We'd love to fill the lab. We have actually room for 3 labs that we could do this in and split up, so we have capacity up to 60 that we could supply for. But what we need to know from you is what worked for you tonight, what didn't work, what you'd like to see in upcoming sessions. And again, we will cater our sessions to what you say. And so it's all about you, and so we want to make sure that we're meeting your needs. And again, I would like to thank the guys for helping us out tonight. They did a great job. Really appreciate that, and we really appreciate you guys taking your time to come in too. And let everybody know too that all of the videos and the forms and all that stuff will post on the Kemper website as well, so everyone can have access to it.